We can start the interview, Tuomas. So welcome, Tuomas, to Metallarium Pages. It's a great pleasure to talk with you again for this new album, Draconian. For this, we spoke last year for the King of the North, and now for 2 years ago for the King of the North, and now we spoke about first Draconian Darkness. So, so meanwhile, so how are you? How are you doing today? And how is the band? How Wolfheart during the last couple of years?
Well, we're doing better and better. Now is less obstacles with this album than we had with King of the North. A lot less than we had with the Wolves of Karelia, because now the whole European situation is a little bit more balanced. And now we don't have any like a pandemic going on. So now things look a lot brighter with this album. Like with King of the North, it was very stressful to like planning any touring, and like nobody knew what's going to happen when the album is out and we're going to hit the road. But now things look a lot more stable, so that means that the band is also, there's a lot less stress inside the band now with the new album coming out.
Okay, amazing. So sorry for this. So when did you start writing songs for this new album? And are those songs new, or did you rescue any composition that will have out for your previous album, King of the North?
All are brand new, only written for this album. I started writing the songs last August, September. Like I had pretty much most of the songs demo recorded before we did the European headlining tour in last year's November. And we went to studio pretty quickly after that one.
Okay. So you guys seems to have a steady piece of releasing new albums with your last album of coming out in 2022, King of the North. So now what motivated you or inspired you to keep such a consistent release schedule, especially in an era where people tend to listen to albums less and there's so many other releases competing for attention?
Well, I love writing music. That's like which is, I do understand that it can be problematic for the labels, especially because, yeah, like you said, this is not the best time for the labels to make money with music, but the labels need to still invest money for the promotion, print the vinyls, like get a lot of things happening. But I love writing music, and that's, if I would need to choose one thing only, what I would do in music, would it be touring or the studio? I would definitely choose the studio, because creating something new is my biggest passion in music. So that like that explains why there's like constant stream of music being going out from my system for the past 20 years, basically.
Okay. Well, I think the next question will be a common one, because many bands and musicians see each album as a child, each one special in its own way. So what makes this album special to you, and how do you work to maintain, like your classic sound, meanwhile you're still keeping the composition fresh after so many years? Because now the band has, will be 11 years this year.
Yeah. Well, it's the most fresh, like a bunch of songs for myself. So of course this is the highlight of the moment. Like you need to ask this question 5 years from now, when I can look back where the album actually sits in the hierarchy of the band discography. But at the moment, like, of course, none of the albums can compete, because this is the latest piece of art. But maintaining it fresh, I think the big role is also with the sound engineers and producers we use. So everybody has a common goal to push the band and the songwriting and the production and the mix and every aspect forward. It's not just the songwriting itself, but also like basically the whole team around the band has to share the same goal of like trying to like find something new or something fresh for each album. It's not just the songwriting. Of course, as a songwriter, I try to like make things fresh and interesting for myself, but at the same time, I just I am the artist, which means that I have my own personal motives to write the music. So I do also rely on our producer and sound engineer to like push my ideas to new directions, because I mainly like I'm just one guy in my own bubble, just basically writing music to myself. So that can also be a trap. That can also like put a lot of change to me as a songwriter. But luckily I have a really talented band with me and team in the studio. So they will let me know if I'm too much in my comfort zone, if I sound like I'm repeating myself too much. I'm very easily informed. They are Finnish people, so they are very blunt and straightforward. In Finland, we don't care if the other person get hurt. we just deliver the information very like a straightforward. But I think it's a good thing in music, especially.
Okay. So for this topic, how do you choose the name of your albums in general? It's a random, or do you try to convey something that encompasses the concept of the entire album? So also, how do you typically decide the order of the songs of an album? I feel like that's an important aspect of the listening experience.
With the album title, I always want to pick a title that sums the whole album. It was easier with the previous two albums because they were very narrow concept albums. Winter War, and that was the Karelian area where that happened. So Wolves of Karelia was very like a clear choice. And then with the King of the North being about Finnish mythology, that's also like super easy. But every title needs to like have a strong connection for the whole album. And when it comes to the track list, my way of writing album is in a way that I don't just write bunch of songs and then we decide like I know a lot of bands that they maybe write like 15 to 20 songs and then they pick up the 12 best and then they decide the track list based on those. So how it works the best. But I usually when I have the first song written, I start building the album around that song. And basically a lot of the songs are kind of like designed for a certain spot in the track list. Like Ancient Cold, which is the first song on the album, that was specifically written to be the first song of the album and also as the opener for our shows in the future. Gale, which is the last song on the album, that was specifically designed to be the final track of the album. That wasn't just a random song that we decided to be as a final song in the end, because I want the last song needs to kind of like complete the circle. So when you are putting the album on the second rotation, it needs to kind of like make this one whole journey with the music.
Okay. So now, how do you feel the reception of the fans and press has been so far and for this new album? Because we're very close to release date for this new album. So you already receiving reviews, common singles about this topic. No, so do you guys usually read reviews or criticism that get posted online? And how do you take the reviews in general?
Well, we run our own social media stuff, so that's one of the reasons to go through all the reviews. Like next week, we're gonna start posting the best reviews on our social media. So that is one of the reasons. But otherwise, since our job is already done, like it's not like we would even want to go back in time and change anything on the album or in the studio work. Like critics are just human beings. Somebody would want us to be heavier. One critic would want us to be more melodic. One doesn't like the clean vocals, and the other one likes more growling. And it's like if you are judging your music based only on the reviews and the media response, I think that's the wrong way to go. You need to also look very carefully at the feedback from your fan base. If everybody is saying one same thing, that this album sucks because the vocals sound horrible, then they probably do. Like sometimes it's a valid information. If you hear the same thing, if you see a pattern, if everybody says like this, the album is great, but the bass drum sounds fucking awful, then it probably is true. Then it's not like like deniable thing. But otherwise, like when it comes to the music itself, as long as there is the good ones, then you shouldn't mind about the bad ones. Because if you're gonna if your day is gonna be fucked up because one critic gave you 2 stars out of 5, that's then you have an issue personally, because that's in a bigger scale, it's just they are just human beings with their own taste of music anyway. Saying that, now that we've been collecting the reviews and seeing the feedback of the fans, it's been probably the best that we've done so far when it comes to the feedback of the fans and the critics. But of course, we will see the whole picture in the next following weeks when we have all the reviews on the table.
Okay, okay. So now talking about especially two things about this one thing about the Wolfheart. I remember when we spoke about the Wolves of Karelia, and you told me that that Wolfheart was more focused on the growling thing, talking about the vocals, just more growling thing than the lyric vocals or the clean vocals. But now, since your previous albums, King of the North, and now with this new album, Draconian Darkness, you are using more this topic of the using clean vocals with the growling stuff. So why do you decide to change your point of view about that, focus more on at the beginning with the growl thing, and now using mixed clean vocals and growl things?
Well, one big factor is that especially Lauri, our bass player, he's becoming a better singer every year that we go to studio. So it's like he's just like it's been quite phenomenal to see how much he's improving and how much he's been done work with his vocal arrangements and skills as a clean vocalist, his rhythmics arrangements and stuff like that. And same with Vangelis. Like he's every year he's stronger with his voice in his own band, Full House Brew Crew. And so basically, they're both grown up to be so much better vocalists that they were. So of course that changes also like my way of writing music. And I always, when I get the first demos done, I will send the songs to the guys, and I'm open to all ideas. And especially Lauri sends me a lot of like vocal ideas. And on this album, like 90% of his ideas were already like recording quality stuff. So it's I think that's how it should be. Like when your talent grows bigger and your skills grow bigger, that automatically like gives you a bigger role in the music.
Oh, okay. So other topic about these new Draconian Darlings is now that this new album is your first album with the new label with the rain, new label but with all new label but with old people. So from Nuclear Blast, for Atomic Fire, etc. So why do you decide to change your label since because with Napalm Records you had a great experience to work with them, and now you are with a new label like Raining Phoenix Music. So what can you expect for this change in the band?
Well, our contract ended with Napalm, and they did offer a deal for the next like a few albums, but we wanted to see what else is out there since we were like a free agent, and Raining Phoenix people really wanted us to be on the label, and they basically that wasn't really a competition with any other labels. That was pretty clear from the beginning. And like you said, it's a new label, but they have like the very professional people from different labels. So it's not like they are new like beginners in the industry. So it's a very very strong crew on the label. They have huge roster already, like bands like Kerry King, Meshuggah, Amorphis, Opeth, and yeah, I definitely like think this is gonna open a lot more doors for us. Like there's nothing wrong with working with Napalm, and I'm actually currently still working with Napalm. Before the Dawn, my other band is signed still to Napalm, and we are talking about the next album to be out next year. So I have super close relationship with Napalm still, and I think it's better for both bands from the future that we are on a different label. So we don't like have this like a priority competition inside the label. If I would have still both Wolfheart and Before the Dawn in Napalm, the other one would be their love child, and that would be bad for the other one. So I think it makes things also a lot clearer for the future.
Okay. So talking about a little more about the promotion for this new album. So what kind of plans do you have to promote this new album? I saw that you will embark on tours because Wolfheart from the last 2 3 years there's a no from the last 2 years there's a busy schedules with a lot of tours. We saw you in Poland. We saw you in Poland. Great show by the way in Poland. So in this topic, what kind of plans do you have in general for Wolfheart? Perhaps you already record new songs because you're already working in new songs, as I saw.
Yeah, well, I'm working with new songs with Dawn of Solace and Before the Dawn, so I'm not allowed to be that active with Wolfheart. I need to focus on the album promotion first. But we are going to start the Finnish tour in just in 2 days. That's going to be the whole September. Then we're going to do November. It's going to be European tour with Dark Tranquility and Moonspell. Somewhere in February, March, we are heading to North America and hopefully do one European tour before the summer. Then there's the summer festival. So at least the next 12 months is going to be pretty full booked.
Oh, nice, nice. So now, when we're talking about now a little history. So when you start Wolfheart, you did it independently by yourself. So all the first albums came by yourself at that time. But now this solo project is over 10 years old. 7 albums, 7 albums long, and as a booming with tours, you're a solid label behind your Rain's Phoenix Music because you mentioned there's Amorphis, Meshuggah, Opeth, great bands into this label. So did you think at the beginning when you start by yourself this Wolfheart project, did you think that the band has that kind of boom around the world?
I was hoping, I was hoping for that, but yeah, I was super focused just to get the first album out and just to see how things go from there. And I had quite a good career already with Before the Dawn. At that time, we did tour quite much in Europe, but at that point, I never played any shows in North America or South America. So there was a lot of territories where I've never went with my previous bands, and I think that was like something that I wasn't expecting, that we are able to tour almost the whole world. We've done even Australia and Asia now with Wolfheart. So it's that I didn't see. That's like a big bonus. I was hoping that if things go, in my mind, the best scenario was that I could reach the same status that I had with Before the Dawn. But now we are constantly touring in North America. We've been doing a lot of big success in the charts and radios there. So that was that was a thing that I didn't see coming.
Mm. Okay, okay. Other thing that I forgot to ask you the first 2 times, or with the interview that we had last year for Before the Down. So for you, what are the main difference that the Swedish melodic death metal has compared to one of the creators of the Finnish melodic death metal has? For you, what is the biggest difference that exists in between these two countries?
I think it's the melancholy. Like the Swedish melodic death metal has a different energy. It's a little bit more cheerful. Not like I'm not saying it's happy metal, but if you think it's a little bit more upbeat when you compare bands like At the Gates or In Flames or Dark Tranquility. And if you compare those to Insomnium or Swallow the Sun, Finnish music is a little bit more sadder. There's there's more grief and there's more darkness in the Finnish melodic metal and melodic death metal. I don't know, are we is Finnish people more depressed than Swedish people? I don't know. But that's the defining thing in my opinion. Is this our level of melancholy is a little bit deeper.
Mm. Okay, okay. You have been praised for your live performance because I saw you. I told you that we saw you in Poland and a great show, by the way, that moment, very strong way. So for this, what can fans expect from your upcoming shows? Perhaps a new scenarios, a new things. Who knows? Because now, as you can see now the live performance is very important for the public because you can see fire, the kinds of this. So for you, what what kind of things prepared Wolfheart, especially for the release of this new release or for the upcoming tours for this new album?
Well, now it's a club tour, so that sets certain boundaries. Like it's not like ideal place for pyros. Like we do use a lot of pyros in usually our music videos, but that's more like open air thing. I think we're gonna like evolve a little bit more with our skulls and horns that we use on the mic stands. Of course, we're gonna bring the new whole stage set, but otherwise, it's like I hope that every tour we do, we are a tiny bit tighter and also better live. But that's might be just me being optimistic. I don't know, because I've never seen us live. I don't know. I've seen only the videos and stuff like that. But yeah, like of course, every year there's more gigs that we have done, and it's naturally we play better together, and we are also like able to bring new songs on the set list with the new album. So that's super exciting. That's biggest change for us, of course. When you have a new album out, you can like bring a lot of new music on the set list. There are certain songs we've been playing for 11 years from the still songs that we play from the debut album, but now being able to mix some new material also, it's going to be super cool for the band.
Okay, okay. One of the last questions for this interview, Tuomas, and one thing that I want to ask you, for you, well, usually the press or usually from the US press are trying to relate the big four from the melodic death metal, thrash metal. You can see this kind of topic around the world for a lot of bands. So, for your perspective, which are for you the big four for the melodic death metal from Finland? Because for me, it's Insomnium, Before the Dawn, more Principionist, and you.
I'm gonna make it a little bit wider. I'm gonna say melodic metal, so I can add a little bit more bands. But I would say, well, Insomnium is definitely one of them. I would mention Ghost Brigade. They are not existing anymore, but from a Finnish point of view, I think they had a lot of like huge impact on certain bands back in the days. Swallow the Sun has to be one of them. It's not death metal at all, but still, when you're talking about Finnish like melodic metal, they are one of the cornerstones. And the fourth one would be Kalma from Oulu, because they have such a strong like northern Finnish heritage in their music. So they have a little bit different vibe because they are from Lapland. So they need to be included. So those four.
Okay, okay. Well, Tuomas, the sad times arrive at this interview. I hope you enjoyed this one like me. This is your as usually this last album was a great one. Congratulations on this new album. This is a great one. I hope you will come to Latin America soon, because we expect you arrive very soon, because the bands now have booming there in Europe. I see a lot of gigs with band. And perhaps you want to add something to your Latin American fans and obviously Methalarium followers.
Well, we are planning constantly our return to Latin America for 2025. So I keep my fingers crossed that this happens, and we get to play there again, because it was awesome the last time we did Latin America with the Fleshcard Apocalypse. So see you all soon.